the last play in regulation time is something that goes down in the history books. The clock's counting down. You guys are behind by 4 points. The play the ball gets played. Tell me your thoughts at that moment in time, because the ball obviously goes to JT.
Bounce pass.
It gets flung back over to you. Tell me what you saw and what you were thinking at that moment. It gives me goosebumps. I wasn't even there.
I don't really know, because I thought the ball was always going to go to JT. It was the last play. So I didn't know if he was going to kick it. I just thought try and get it in a position to get with the ball, and then when he had to beat a couple,
because you got yourself.
I had to get back.
You got back behind the ball.
No one else. Yeah,
everyone was so tight, and I was like, man, watch if you see that clip. Like, watch Morgo. Watch him get back behind the ball so he gets in position to get the ball.
Yeah, well, I still thought if he kicks it, someone's got to be able to chase. So he ended up having to just hoik it to me. And, look, I don't know. It's all adrenaline and stuff, so I don't remember thinking anything. I think my first thought was actually, do I kick it for Felty? Put it up and just hope for the best. And then I was able to run a bit and run a bit more. And because we went down there a fair bit that night, as in their left edge, because we'd had success previously that year against that edge, and we went down there all night, and they kept turning us away, and I think just because I was able to keep running, it just worked out well for me. And I spoke before about passive defensive line, and they did have a passive defensive line, and Jack Reed at the time sort of just turned his shoulders a little bit so I could poke my nose through and was able to get the ball away.
Man, it is such a cool moment, so clutch. But Felty gets you obviously get through with holding the ball in one hand, I might add, which is hard as itself. Gets through the gap, flick past to Felty. Felty gets through, scores. Now JT's got a kick to win the game. Everyone's backing him here. He's going to kick the game. He's going to kick it. He hits the post. He misses. Now it's golden point in a grand final, the biggest moment of your life. Do you remember the message heading into that golden point moment?
Not really, because we spoke before JT kicked it, and the obvious one, whatever happens, whatever's next, if he gets it or if he misses, expect him to miss it. So talk about what's next. But it was just so loud, and I remember thinking to myself when he kicked it, I just wanted him to kick it, because when I was in the 20s, we played the Warriors in the grand final and we lost in Golden Point, and I thought, surely this can't happen twice in a lifetime, to lose in a grand final in Golden Point twice. So he missed it, and then I don't know what the talk was after he missed it, because you look at him after it, he looked rattled after he missed it, and he was our senior leader. So I remember when we lost the 20s one, we had a kick to win it, and unfortunately missed it, and it went to Golden Point. So I tried to make the point to go straight over to him and say, we need you back here with us. Now, don't worry about it. It's gone. And you see everyone go, give him a slap on the head and pat on the back, and luckily it went our way. Yeah.
Then anyway, after that, moments after, you just said misses. This is probably why he's the greatest player of all time. Misses the goal to win the game, gets himself back in the moment with the help of you guys, gets himself in position to kick a field goal, drops the ball on flat like that.
I know, worst drop ever.
There's a statue at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, and the ball's like this. But kicks the field goal. You guys win the NRL Grand Final. Tell me about the celebrations and that moment, and what you thought, I guess, putting your whole life into perspective and everything you'd done to get yourself to that moment.
Yeah, it was, I remember when it went through and I just sprinted straight over, but then you sort of yell and scream in there, everyone's excited, but then I sort of took a step away and just thought, we did it, and the sense of, again, relief that came through me, it's done, everything that we worked for is finally, it's all been worth it then in that moment. And you're lucky enough to know what that feeling's like. And that was the biggest, I guess, feeling I had at the time after that initial excitement of actually winning it and the ball going through. It was like a sense of relief, it's done. And the celebrations after were a lot of fun. What was cool, and I spoke before about my favourite part of the week to sit and have a beer, was how you get to go out on the field. And before we went out there, and we said no phones, just let's just take us out. No one else needs to experience this. It's just for this group because we're the ones who got here. So all the staff, the whole squad, we went out, sat in a circle and had a esky in the middle and just sat there and had a beer together with no one else was there. It was just us. No one was, I mean, I know Penrith have won 2 of them now, but when they're all there on their phones, I just think like, put that down and just enjoy that moment because it is very special and not everyone gets to do it. And I'm glad that we did it that way. We made the point of saying no phones. It's just this group because this is who did it. So that was a really enjoyable moment. And yeah, we got home and it was awesome. We flew into the airport. There were thousands of people there. Drove to the stadium. And there was 15,000 people at the stadium just waiting for us. So. Wow. Felt like rock stars and
went to Vegas as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and then we had the presentation ball, so we went out a couple of nights that week. Obviously, had good fun, and I remember sitting on at the Mad Cow. We went there one of the nights and sitting on the bar with Cootie, and we were just thinking like, how good is this? We just had a little moment of thinking how good it was because everyone was pumped about it. So people were like, yeah, boys, and like, so, and then had the presentation ball on the Friday night, and then Saturday morning flew to Vegas. So. Which with 17 of us, I think, so it was pretty fun.
Wow, some times of your life, I'd say.
It was so much fun, and to be, like I said, I was 23 at the time, and you never at that time, you know, I was just glad that I won one, and it was a similar feeling to when I played. Not a similar feeling, but when I played my first NRL game, I thought, well, I could give it away now because I wanted to play the NRL, and I did it. So I played one game, but you get a taste of it, and you just want more. So. After I finished, I thought, yes, like at least I've got one now. But you didn't lose motivation to try and do it again because you knew how good it was, so you wanted to experience that feeling again.
Yeah, wow.